Hello, everybody. It's Paul here from Bengals UK. Welcome to our Week 4 tailgate. Of course, the Bengals are at home, back at Paul Brown Stadium. Fans are back inside Paul Brown Stadium for the first time this season. We're playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, and as ever, we have an hour's worth of inane chat talking about beer, food, whatever we can kind of think of. We're not winging it, obviously. We're very planned and detailed. We're not at all. But joining us today is Peter Daswell. Afternoon, Pete.
Afternoon, Paul. Who day?
And Jamie Rowe. Hello, Jamie.
Who day, Paul? How are you doing today?
All right, mate. How are you? We've always got people lined up to come in. Oh, let's bring Tom in, shall we? I mean, sound difficulties early. Let's hopefully he can.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, Tom.
Can you hear me?
Yay!
Might help if I turn off the button.
We just spent a hilarious 5 minutes watching Tom swear mightily under his breath. We can lip read him, but we couldn't hear him. But now he's back. Tom, how you doing, man?
Yeah, good, thanks. Turns out there's a button on my keyboard that mutes the microphone.
Okay.
Oh, it's all this techie stuff. Oh, I know.
So how are we doing, lads? Are we all good? How are we feeling about today's game today?
I think it'll be another tie. I think we've got that in us. That's the level that we're currently aiming for. And if we can go 0-2-14, that would be a new way of sort of torturing the fan base.
No, I think we're going to have a little bit of balance after this game. 1-2-1 sounds fine. I think we're winning it today. I'm a bit worried about the injuries.
Go over
Go for it, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, a week ago I'd have been saying we would win this one easily, but since all the injuries that happened almost in like one day, we lost 3 or 4 quite key players. I think it's going to be a bit more of an even affair. Could be quite high scoring, maybe.
We said that last week, though, and our defence finally stood up last week after the debacle against the Browns. The defence finally stood up, even with some injuries then. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they can kick on again, because the offence is just starting to click a little bit. I'd like to see some bigger plays, some longer passes come to fruition, but we're just starting to get there. And the passing numbers from Burrow are fantastic already.
I know, right? I mean, I was refusing to kind of jump onto the Burrow train straight away, just because, even though whatever happens, even though he's a number 1 pick, he's a Heisman Trophy winner, record setting and all that, it does take a bit of time for a rookie to settle into the NFL. And we've seen it so many times with quarterbacks, especially. But the way Burrow has played over the past 3 weeks has just staggered me. And I think I said in last week's podcast, when in that second half, when they were moving the ball at will, the intensity and the way they were just moving the ball was just like, oh, come on. This is what we desperately wanted to see, some sort of cohesive offensive effort. And it's been brilliant. It's been absolutely brilliant.
I mean, we've not won last year exactly the same. We were winning, but this year it's so different. And I'm looking forward to every game, whether we're winning or not. I'm enjoying the games because we're in every single game. We've beaten the spread for people who are into betting. We've beaten the spread every single week, and we're one of only 2 or 3 teams to have done that. I think every game is close. We've not got that killer instinct and the ability to kill the game off, to win the game on those single score games. But it's looking really good, and if we can have an eye not just for the present, for the future, we've got to remain positive. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing.
And the defense really stepped up a lot last week. Tom, you must have been delighted to see Carl Lawson really finally start to fulfill his potential.
Definitely, but the thing that frustrates me at the moment is we can't ever get everything working at the same time. I mean, we've got so many great players like Carl Lawson, Carlos Dunlap. On paper, we've got this roster and it's great. Just imagine what we could do if they're all playing to their potential at the same time. And I think the same goes for offense as well. If we have Mixon playing and Burrow playing at a high quality, but we never seem to get them all working in unison at the same time. Maybe today's the day we do it. I mean, Carl Lawson is definitely making a case for more snaps, and especially with Geno Atkins out and all the other injuries, it'll help relieve some of the pressure, I think.
I wonder how much of the defensive success last week was down to the Eagles not being particularly good. Now, I don't want to kind of come in here and start pissing on bonfires, but that was a particularly poor offensive performance by the Eagles last week. And I think that kind of played into the sort of relative success that we were having. We have struggled this year against quarterbacks who are able to move side to side in the pocket. I think Minshew, despite his obvious limitations as a passer, does have the ability to move around a bit, and that slightly worries me because we're not able to track where the quarterback's going at the moment.
Well, and there's the argument as well that one of the reasons, I know we can probably talk about this for the whole hour, but we can't, we shan't, because we want to go into it relatively positively. But one of the reasons why the offensive line is giving up so many sacks is because they just haven't dealt with a quarterback like Burrow who can stretch the plays before. You know, he just goes off script so often. It's difficult to keep up where he is and keep protection going. But
there's no doubt that some of the sacks. There's no doubt that some of the sacks were on Burrow. A lot were on the O-line, but Burrow wanted to make something happen. There's no criticism of him at all. But I'm also increasingly concerned about the wide receivers. Great that T. Higgins stood up and made a contribution. But we're not getting the big plays. We're not getting the separation. And therefore, Burrow's struggling to find someone to pass it to, which means he's holding on to it a little bit longer, or he's having to scramble a little bit more. And the O-line aren't good enough to cope with that extra half a second to a second that's required. So we need to see more separation, and we need to see the wide receivers step up some more.
Before we've got someone waiting in the wings to come in. I can see Max's smiling face there. So Max, stay with us. We'll let you in a second. Darren Wright says, finally off work for a change. Game. Watch the whole game live. Basically, he's off work for a change. He also says it's going to be another 350 yards plus day, probably from both quarterbacks. I can see 100 points in this match. Goodness me, that's not going to do good for the heart, is it?
Mackenzie Alexander's inactive.
Yes, that's right. And Logan Wilson, I believe, and Mike Daniels. But again, Jamie, perhaps you can keep an eye on the team news, because there was some reports that Joe Mixon was suffering, was added to the injury report. Duncan, don't get too excited, Darren. John Ross inactive again. Thank you, Duncan. On the upside, if it were Dalton, he'd be injured already. Fair point. And Ben Wintle, what's up, gangsters? Hello, Ben. Right, he's been waiting in the wings for a while. Let's bring in Max. How you doing, man?
Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing?
Good morning to you. I can sense by that you're not from parts. Where are you, Max?
So I recently located to Denver, Colorado out here. I'm up in the Rocky Mountains. So just moved out here this year. I tell you what, though, boys, it is nice watching football games at 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm all about that. That's a huge game changer. I can watch the game and have the rest of the day to get what I need done. But as you can see, I'm up and at it early here. Not to be confused with Joe Exotic, but the Tiger King here. So, but big fan of you guys, and I just love all that you guys do.
Well, that's really nice of you to say so. We've got things coming in at the moment. Moz, who you'll hear from, our regular beer recommender, has just sent this in. He's on the source straight away. That's Big Foam Rustic Lager. Don't know what that means. Max, are you started drinking yet, or is this strictly your way into the day?
No, so that's a great question. So it's crazy out here. So believe it or not, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some pictures today and send it to you guys. There's actually a Bengals bar here in Denver, Colorado. It's crazy.
Right.
So it's like this little tiny hole in the wall bar. You almost have to like go downstairs. It's almost like, where are we going? You have to like do a secret knock. But once you get there, you open these doors, and it's like a little slice of Cincinnati. There's Bengals flags. It's Houday everywhere, and we're going to go there at here probably in about an hour and a half before the game starts. But it's great. So they do start serving. There's no food, but you can at least get a beer and for me another coffee.
No Skyline chili then.
Oh my gosh, that's the only thing that I really crave out here. My family sends the cans, so I have something. But I do miss my Skyline.
And Denver's quite a cool city, though, isn't it, Max? It's pretty banging. There's lots of stuff going on.
It is.
Or was
it? Is.
On.
Yeah, it's one of those places where you you look one way and you got a city, and then you turn around and it's a huge mountain range. So just everything to do and outdoors and all that. Now, I will say I have taken a little bit onto the Broncos. They're actually not doing too well. Well, they won their first game, but they're okay. But still, all Bengals out here. I was going to tell you guys, next year, once we knock on wood, we get out of this COVID mess. The Bengals actually come to Denver next year. So I tell you what, if you guys ever want to make a little trip, come on out. I'll take care of you guys, and we'll do it up here in the mountains.
I would love to do that, Max.
Yeah.
Dalton, Mr. Dalton, who is the amazing designer, Dalton's signature. He's posted what he's drinking at the moment, and he's obviously on the Pacific coast, so he's seizing the day and starting off with a nice cup of Joe to get him going. Max, thank you so much for coming on, mate. Anytime, you're more than welcome, and appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, guys.
Good day,
enjoy the game. Good day. Well, that was Max. We've got another. It doesn't stop. It is all happening. Now, who we got here? It's John Lucarotti. John, how you doing?
Not bad. How you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. What are you up to? I can see.
It's just an honour, isn't it, to be here? I mean, God, I've been sort of gently looking at this over the weeks, and here it is. It's just exciting.
Indeed, I can see a chandelier in the background there. Where are you calling from, John?
I'm calling from North London, so not too far away from you, I suspect.
Yes, indeed. And how are you feeling about tell us how you prepare for the games, John. Do you have a ritual, or do you kind of do anything over there?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose there's a bit of gambling involved in terms of trying to work out, which to pick at 6 o'clock games, and then trying to make the decision of whether to watch Red Zone as well as the match at the same time. But I kind of find that if you're watching Red Zone, they're slightly ahead of Game Pass, so it kind of it ruins it. But yeah, I don't know. I just settle down in and get on with it.
Good stuff. LJ Walter says, "Hi, gents. Houday to you, LJ." And Anna Pearson says a big houday, and right back at chat, Anna. What do you do for eats, John? Do you do anything on the game day?
It's pizza. I know that's probably not the right weapon of choice. There's probably more sort of fans of wings and stuff like that, but pizza sort of gets me through. It's the sort of food that allows you to take it and leave it and not get too worried about preparation.
Pizza's absolutely game food for me. I'm sort of, I'll kind of go sort of 50-50, sometimes wings, sometimes pizza. But I'm not going to denigrate your choice there. That's absolutely...
You can't make any mistake with pizza.
Good. Well, I mean, I suppose I know toppings sometimes take us into different places, but,
what are your feelings about today, John?
I think it's a win, isn't it? I mean, we can't beat the Jags. I know that they were supposed to be rubbish, weren't they, this year, and they've kind of got more signs of life, but we don't win today. It's quite hard to see something until about week 10 or so, when we've got that, 2 or 3 games in a row that look winnable. So
I think we got the Giants and the football team in consecutive weeks, and both of those are winnable. So that's at least sort of 2-12-2 or whatever we're going with.
The most optimistic amongst us hoped for a 2-2 record after the first 4 games. If we win this one, 1, 2, and 1, it's not bad because there are some pretty poor teams out there as well. So let's be positive about it. I mean,
well,
we've
only got the Ravens next week, so I think we're going to be talking exclusively about beer and food next week, and not touching on any football whatsoever.
Isn't the key today the battle between Gardner Minshew's moustache and Gio Bernard's moustache? Who's going to be the best moustache?
There's only one winner, quite frankly. There is only one winner. Well, John, thank you for coming on, mate. You're welcome back anytime.
Lovely to see you.
I say it's a revolving door policy at the moment, and we've got people coming in. We've got videos to show and all sorts to discuss.
Thanks, Paul, and thanks for the snacks you put on in the green room. It's amazing.
I was going to say, it's fine.
Yeah, P-wets.
Right. Well, we've got a very special guest coming up right now. You know him as Captain. Bengals captain. We know him as Jeremy Conley. We know him as all sorts. But here he is, live from Paul Brown Stadium. Jeremy?
All right. We forgot our mics, our earpieces. So I'm trying to figure this out so that I can actually hear you guys. Apologies.
You're coming through loud and clear. Can you hear that?
I'm trying.
Your lips aren't moving.
Now, what?
Yeah. Hey, we're gonna have Jess listen to it on her phone because the audio won't be loud enough in the StreamYard app.
Okay. So you got someone translating for you then?
So we're working on that now, but.
Oh, there you go.
About what's going on down there.
It looks like a lovely day in Cincinnati for football.
Yeah.
And there we have.
Also, I forgot. Oh, you're on Wi-Fi? Yeah.
This is like an interview with Marcelo Bielsa.
Yes. It looks amazing, Jeremy. And your ears are very clean and beautiful.
Hey, I'm doing what I can. We messed up. I can't believe the audio is so low. So I can play video and it sounds loud, but in StreamYard right now, I can't hear anything with my volume turned all the way up. So this is not what I was expecting.
Okay, Jeremy. Just how about you talk for a couple of minutes, talk us through the COVID restrictions, and also just show us the field and tell us what's going on so we don't have to have an actual conversation. You just talk for a couple of minutes.
Perfect. Well, I think they did a great job. We got in early. The security at the very front before you even walk up the stairs, just check to see, make sure what's in Jess's bag there. And we got in there. There's a deal. If you have a Fifth Third Bank card, yeah, there's her dog cone she's wearing. That's just so she can drink and not have to worry about a mask. But they got us in early. They solved a little issue with the scanner, but all of their markings on the ground that remind you to keep 6 feet away, social distance, and everything. Got in the stadium. You can see. The seats have ties, so we've got blocks of seats, and every other seat is tied up so that you absolutely cannot sit there. And it looks like I've seen people going around already and cleaning all of the handrails. Nobody in here. There's no one in here, and they're already hitting the handrails to clean them. And it's great. It's absolutely great. Everybody's having a good time. Some of the security professionals that we're friends with, and, come up, said hi, and, already it's just good to be back. The energy is here. The players have been looking around at the fans and actually acknowledging a lot of the fans. Carlos Dunlap just busted me. He comes over and he points to the jersey. He wanted to see the jersey I was wearing. And I had to yell. I'm like, one time, just one time. I wear Burrow to welcome Burrow, but it's going to be 96 the rest of the way. So I got busted. But here, I'll try to get out of it. Some warm-ups. everybody getting loose, everybody dancing. You know what? I think it's going to be a good game. So I'm gonna put it back in my ear here. I apologize. I did not clean my ear well enough. So what? Oh, Jess wants to say something.
Hi, everybody. So I just wanted to, even though Jeremy's making fun of my dog cone face shield, I just wanted to say that I am being extra careful because of my job. And I also have hand sanitizer and little wipes that are sanitizing wipes. So I am being extra careful because of I work with transplant patients. So that's something that's really important to me. So make fun of me all you want, but that's why I'm being extra
All right, back to my ear.
Yeah, tell Jess to get those wet ones into your ear and give them a good clean, will you?
we need the wet wipes in my ear, apparently.
Jeremy,
you're good.
Jeremy, is the mask you got? Is that actually your beard photo picture?
No, it was as close as I could possibly find because the custom stuff was going to end up being a little bit more expensive.
Oh, it still looks good. You're still on brand.
Thank you.
You need to get a Geo moustache one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Here's a question, Jeremy, before we let you go. What have you seen Burrow? And that's going to make a difference to him, isn't it? Having him with fans in the stadium, because he's played so well in the first 3 games. It'll be great to see fans acknowledge him, and he can feed off the atmosphere, right?
You know what? He's used to big crowds, so I think it's really going to help him out. I think we're going to definitely bring the energy. It is absolutely amazing how far my voice echoes with the way this is set up. You better believe I'm going to give everything I got. I know other fans here are too. So I think we get the win because of the extra energy we're bringing. You know, I'm going to put this W on the fans, and everybody's excited. They're all pumped.
Right, you've frozen, and we're now permanently inside your ear. So,
this is just gold.
we'll let you take a snapshot of that. We'll let you go, Jeremy. But thanks so much for giving us a taste. I know that a lot of fans over here haven't been to PBS, so just to see it from your angle is a real treat. Thank you very much, and enjoy the game today. And let's hope for the W. Yeah.
Who dey, Jeremy? I think he's gone.
Who dey, guys?
Well, there you go. I mean, that was turning into like Inner Space, the sequel, there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
We were kind of. I kept expecting to go deeper into the ear and into his cerebral cortex there for a little journey around. That's
a competition for a future week. We should have a very close-up shot of a body part and have to guess whose it is and what it is. It's Stuart Baird. What is it?
Yeah, we see that every week, Jamie, from Stuart. So maybe we could offer a trip inside Jeremy's brain at one point, perhaps. But don't you think? I asked the question there. The fact that Burrow, he's used to big crowds, and he seems like a pretty steady sort of guy. But just having fans there might make the difference. Might push that team on to the next level. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, it's going to be a difference.
Yeah, I mean, you look at how many single plays in the game like last week's where one play, had that gone our way or we hadn't got a penalty or something like that, would have been the difference between a tie and a win. And with that energy, if you get one player making that one play, that's all we need right now. It's just to turn the tide.
Yeah.
No, I agree. We've got Darren Wright has sent in a little picture of himself. Darren is preparing for the game, fully kitted up, and I think that's a Carling in his hand, isn't it?
It's a perfectly acceptable beer.
Absolutely. And who else have we got here? Brian Williams sent us this from North Kentucky. It looks like a beautiful day over there. I mean, if I showed you what the day was like here, it's absolutely slamming it down. But yeah, that looks really nice, Brian. Thank you very much for sending that.
How exciting was it to see PBS? So when he turned around and the green pitch, the blue sky, it just adds to the excitement, doesn't it?
definitely.
Yeah, I mean it's I'm lucky. I've been there twice. I think I'd love to go back. I'd love to go for a couple of weeks and just take in a couple of games if I possibly could. That'd be brilliant.
My intention is to try and pick a weekend in which Ohio State are playing on the Saturday. Go and watch them on the Saturday, the Bengals on the Sunday, and that would
Canton in between, something like that.
Yeah,
sounds good.
What about you, Tom? You've obviously got aspirations to go there. I can see you'd be absolutely beside yourself, wouldn't you?
Oh, mate, I've never been, but it's absolutely on my bucket list. I really, really want to go. It's just difficult with money and family, but one day I'll go there, and it'll be glorious. It'll be amazing.
Well, would you go and doorstep some players for autographs?
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, it's time to talk about food and beer, and it's time for our resident beer expert, Moz, to run down some beer recommendations for you.
Hello, Bengals Nation. Moz here with 2 new beers for you guys to try. Sorry about the rogueness of this video. The dining room where I normally record, it was either too loud from the neighbours or it's too loud in the house now, so it just seemed unfair to turn the TV off and stuff, so I decided to record up here, and you can see the flag still, on the wall proudly, and first NFL game I ever watched live, so it's a lot of memories and a lot of, and it's my brother's birthday who went the game with yesterday on the Friday I've recorded this. But yeah, I digress too much as normal. The first beer I recommend is from Three Hills, who are based in Northamptonshire. I had this beer last week. It is an 8% double IPA. It's fantastic. And with this, you can expect melon, peach, white grape, pineapple, passion fruit, rosehip, orange. It is just a massive fruit bowl of fruit, and it's amazing. It is amazing. Really thick, and it was just such a delight, and the depth of flavour was fantastic. And for you lucky guys based in London, they are actually opening up a brewery tap in London, and I think it's in Bermondsey. They mentioned Partisan Brewery, and that's the only place I could think of where they are. So yeah, I presume it is. Kind of on the great beer scene down there these days. Hopefully I can go down that way one day and drink it dry, but we'll see. The second beer I recommend is from Vault City, who are based in Edinburgh. It is a sour IPA. It's called Sipper version 3. It's got 2 New Zealand hops in it. I think one's Nelson, definitely. I can't remember the other one. But it's a fantastic sour. You can expect white grape, pineapple, passion fruit maybe, depending on your taste buds. I kind of a little bit. I'll give it to someone else and they're like, no, can't. But that's palates. People's palates are different. So, and a bit of pine, and then you got like a massive thwack of sourness. Being a sour IPA. But yeah, it's a great beer. Yeah. I'm not sure what I can say, but sour IPAs are very simple but delicious things. The price of both are very similar. You're talking roughly anywhere between £6.20 to £8. So they aren't the cheapest beers, and I do apologise if they're about your price range, but you get what you pay for, basically. Hopefully you get a better scene than my bedroom wall and door. I'm going Belfast this week, so yeah, hopefully I'll get a nice backdrop of Belfast or a nice building there or something. But hopefully we have a great Sunday. Hopefully Stoke beat Birmingham. Hopefully the Bengals beat the Jags. I do fancy us today, to be honest. I do fancy us. It's going to be tough without Gino and Daniels, but I think we'll just edge it. And Jerry Borrow deserves it. He's been battered pillar to post, and I think us fans, we need to beat Jags because they aren't great at all. But yeah, hopefully you have a great Sunday. Hopefully we're all happy by the end of it, and I will see you soon. Hooday.
Who dey?
Well, there we go,
Who's that?
Moz. Moz is up close and personal there, wasn't he? He was almost getting into Jeremy Ear territory there. But we thank Moz very much. Any of those beers tickle your fancy, guys?
I mean, anything that's 8% plus is a tick in my box. Yeah,
Moz doesn't muck around with the alcohol content, does he?
No, it means you can tell the missus, "Oh, I've only had one, or I've only had two." But
Well, when I was over in my Bengals bubble with Matt Catterall last week for the Eagles tie, I managed to get through 10 beers during that. So if I'm going for any of those at Moz's level, the price and the strength, I think, would absolutely defeat
But because
me.
there was overtime, that's justified, right?
That is it. Overtime pushed me into further territory. Particularly, I think I accelerated as I went along, so I managed to get a couple in that 10-minute period.
Indeed, and apparently, well, Moz did ask me to apologise to everyone because his pet parrot, was squawking away in the background. So we get it all from Moz. His brother's birthday, a big fruit bowl of fruit, a thwack of sourness, all sorts going on. But we do thank Moz there. They're great additions.
Paul, we're doing quite well. Not only have we had an invite to Denver, Colorado, but LJ Walker has invited us to Columbus, Ohio, just 10 minutes away from PBM, free place to stay. So I think we know where we're going to stay now.
Well, there we go. It's they promise these things, but you just wait till we bowl up.
Wait till the UK Bengals land en masse.
Bit like the volunteer in April, is that what you said? That remains to be a private joke, I think.
You've got to explain that one, Paul.
No, I don't. Well, basically, I sorted out a pub in North London for Bengals fans to meet before the game last year. And we turn up at this pub, very nice pub in North London called the Volunteer. I had no, judging by the previous time the Bengals came to London, only a handful of people turned up. But this time there was about 100 people turn up, and they had only 2 staff members on, and they were absolutely furious with us, and I felt awful. So,
this was for the Sunday lunch before the game on the Sunday. This wasn't the festivities on the Thursday night and the Friday night and the Saturday night.
This is like a pint to have before the game, what is traditional here in the UK. And it all went, well, it didn't go badly wrong, but because they probably made more money on their Sunday than they've ever done before. I did feel sorry for the bar staff who were suddenly completely engulfed with about 100 Bengals fans asking for beer and food as well. So
yeah,
you'd argue that that they might have had some kind of awareness of what was going on at a sort of 80,000 seater stadium, 3 stops down the Metropolitan line. But
you would, it is what it is. We've learned our lessons, I think.
Forewarned now.
Yeah, absolutely. Paul Blanton said, "Gentlemen, I would love some Facebook Bengals friends in the UK. If you would all care to friend me here in the US, thank you." There you go, Paul Blanton,
Bengals friends.
Go and Facebook him up, if that's the right word. Darren Wright says we were not going to beat all 3 division rivals in a row. No, not at all. And he says, "Oh, captain, our captain, what a treat, what a sight." And Duncan Eden follows that up with nice ears. What else have we got? Kevin Angel. Moza is testing with his descriptions of that Three Hills DIPA.
Holly Sefton said that, Skyline Chili last night. Love it.
Living La Vida Luca, John, who's just come on, great memories. Paul going around scooping up empties. Yeah, because I felt so. I decided to help out. To help out the bar staff. Now, someone on here offered to cook some Skyline chili for you. Yes, Andrew Dorbin. Who day from across the pond? Must win game today. Any of you made Cincinnati chili for game day? The answer is no. But Andrew, if you want to make some for us, we could, and kind of maybe we could like do a cookery segment. I don't know on this tailgate.
I'd love to try Cincy chili. I've heard great things and it looks so good. So if anyone's got any authentic Cincinnati recipes for chili, please drop them by. And yeah, I'm happy to try some out. I really want to give it a go.
Just as we had an explanation of Tom's wings in after week 1, and perhaps we can do a similar video or pictures of someone making some authentic Skyline chili for us.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
And then send someone in a jiffy bag.
Before the end of this season, I think one of us has got to cook an authentic Cincinnati chili.
Well, let's do it all 1 week, and we'll all plan it, and we'll all do it, and we'll all see which comes out best, or how
we could have a chili, the first ever virtual chili cook-off. How about that?
A chili of.
Now then, it is. Who we got? Oh, we've got someone knocking on the door. Let's bring him in. Cameron, how you doing, mate?
How's it going, guys?
Hey, to Cameron.
Long time listener, first time caller.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to actually see and speak to you, Cameron. I know that you're a long time contributor to the podcast. I recognise the Twitter handle. Where are you calling from, mate?
Hey, calling from North Lanarkshire in Scotland, a small town called Wishaw.
And how is life up in North Lanarkshire at the moment?
Not too different to usual, to be honest.
Oh, there you go. Man United losing 4-1. Wow.
And they've had a player sent off.
Simon Hunter. Who are they playing?
Tottenham.
Tottenham.
Oh. Cameron, who are you supporting in our kind of football?
In your kind of football? I don't really follow your kind of football, unfortunately. Although I do have an affinity for the smaller teams. The very frustrating mid-table teams, just to go on brand with Scotland international football and also Bengal.
Cool. And what about back to American football, I guess? What are your thoughts about today's game?
Oh, I don't know. The news of Mixon coming out being injured, or at least slightly hurt, is quite concerning, because I was hoping that he would be able to step up a wee bit this week. So it's going to put a bit more pressure on Burrow. But I think hopefully this week the defence might be able to pick up the slack a wee bit. Minshew hopefully should be able to be pressured a bit more and make him struggle, I think. He's kind of middle of the road. So
we do have a list of the inactives here. It's Austin Siebert, Mackenzie Alexander, Travion Williams. That's kind of quite interesting. Logan Wilson, Keaton Sutherland, and Geno Atkins. So I think it's fair to, and Alex Redmond is starting at right guard.
Yeah. We thought that was going to be the case.
Really?
I don't.
With that face, there was kind of wincing and kind of terrible faces all around there.
But everyone wanted Johnson. Let's give Johnson a go, and they put him in at right guard, and he stacked the place out. So
I think
you give it
to them a tackle, though. That's the difference.
Yeah, no, I know, but you would have find the right guard.
At least Redmond is a guard already, so he kind of knows the position. The problem with him is that he's a penalty magnet, and he's fine as a guard. He's not great by any stretch of the imagination, but he's not sort of absolutely dreadful. The one problem with him is that he's constantly holding, and he's giving away false starts, and maybe they've got through to him at some point, and he's improved on that side of things. But I want to see it.
Did you notice the stats? So the stats came out about the penalties, and they are calling less penalties this year, including less O-line penalties. So if we ever fall into thinking maybe Bobby Hart's improving because he's not having as many false starts, no, it's just they're not calling as many holding penalties. So hopefully, touch wood, fingers crossed and all that, hopefully Redmond can make a name for himself and make that place his own. I'm a bit surprised that Billy Price hasn't been given more of a run at it.
I think the
he
problem
was
we've got
particularly
at the moment,
dreadful.
the problem we've got is we're not really getting any real consistency every single week, or even every single half of a game. It's someone else. And even if they have a bad game, maybe give them another game to build up this consistency, get the whole five guys working together as a team. It's very difficult to build cohesion if you're swapping guys in and out all the time and go, oh, that's not working.
And of course, injuries affect that, don't they? I mean, the number of teams have had O-liners go down injured, and we had the same. We brought the pastry guy in, and after week 1 was it, or week 2, he's injured, so you had to bring someone else in, and so yeah, difficult.
Cameron, where do you stand on just come and bring it back to food again? Where do you because we're getting a few messages. Darren Wright again says, I'm a chef. Someone get me the recipe. I'll sort it. Alex McQueen says, I'm going for a chili cook-off. LJ Walter, I have what I think is the real recipe for it. Tastes exactly the same. Tom McDowell says, Tom is a legend. Now, I don't know what content is that. Someone...
It's probably my son using one of my devices by the sounds of it.
I was going to say, you're obviously modest as well as, you know.
It's true, but yeah, I didn't like that.
Cameron, where do you stand on chili? Are you a chili man?
I've never had authentic American chili, but I do enjoy it. Yeah, I think nice big portion of cheese on the top.
Do you have? Would there be a Scottish version of chili? I mean, would you try and deep fry it, for instance, or
iron brew?
Perhaps instead of maybe haggis in there, maybe a wee bit extra.
That could possibly work, couldn't it? Actually.
Give that a try. We'll see.
Well, you'll have to come on and do this cook-off. Now, I think the gauntlet has been laid down. A chili cook-off is. Cameron, it's great to see you, mate, and do come on again. I really appreciate you coming on, and I really appreciate all the questions that you asked for the podcast. And you're a ledge, mate. Thank you very much.
Great, thanks very much. Enjoy the game, guys.
You too.
Who day,
Cameron?
See, this is what I like about this sort of thing. You get to see people and talk to people that you've only conversed on Twitter, and that's marvellous.
See, Paul, Holly Sefton has sent a link for the actual chili, the Skyline chili recipe. So there you go. That's what we must try.
Must serve on spaghetti with a mound of cheddar cheese. It's a 3-way and it's delicious. Now, Holly, I'm sorry, but I did have a Skyline in Cincinnati when I was last there, and it was delicious. It was pretty good. I'm a vegetarian, so they did do like a vegetarian minced version, which is actually pretty tasty, if you believe that. But we're just not used to having chili on spaghetti. We're not, and that kind of wig of cheese on top is
it is weird.
It's the weirdest thing.
That appeals to me.
It's a bit Donald. It's a bit Donald Trump, isn't it?
It is a bit. That mound of cheddar cheese is Trump-esque, I must say. Now we do like to go through food and drink, as we know. We're edging into the final quarter of this ramshackle production, and it is today World Taco Day. Now, talk to us about tacos. I'm going to call them tacos because they've not really caught on over here, have they? Are you fans of the taco?
Yes. There is a lovely taco place just up the road from me in Withington in Manchester. I can't remember the name of it, but it's absolutely a definite for people who are bothered to sort of travel to this neck of the woods. Good tacos, good beer. It is a bit busy at the moment, so that might put you off in these sort of plague times, but come back to it when you can, and yeah, we'll go for tacos.
Obviously, the main place is the Taco Bell, but just as Jamie said, a place in Manchester. There's also a place in Leicester. So when I've travelled there through work, I always make a point of stopping there and either having a burrito or some tacos. And it's not Taco Bell, and so it's very different and lots of different recipes. I had a lovely one with salmon and guacamole in it. It was gorgeous.
What about you, Tom? Are you a fan of Mexican food, and are you a taco man?
Yeah, no, I love spicy food. The hotter the better. We've got a Taco Bell has opened up, I think, in the last year or two near where I work, and whenever I get a chance, I go in. I'm a fan.
Again, they've not really caught on like the street, like in America. I know there's a lot bigger sort of Mexican influence in parts of America, but they're not quite caught on, have they, in terms of the size of like as Pete said, there's some Taco Bells knocking about in this country, but they're not kind of around as much. I mean, I have had a really good taco when I was in America last, and it was delicious, I must say. And I managed to find. Go on.
I was saying the food influence. I've always thought the food influence in America is very cosmopolitan. That's not to say you can't get whatever food you want in London, which is obviously very cosmopolitan. But the variety of foods and styles that they have, and it means so much more in America than it does here. It puts us to shame.
I managed to find some interesting tacos for you to peruse. So
here we go.
On World Taco Day, can you guess what's going on here?
No, is the short answer. What on earth?
It looks like my back garden. They are little kind of deep fried grubs.
Oh, I thought they were French fries. Stuff.
For me, it's the colour of the taco that's putting me off. It looks a bit grey.
Whole wheat taco with some sort of, I don't know, some sort of salsa-y, green sludgy stuff and cheese on top.
And it looks like some pickled beetroot on the side.
It does, yeah. So that's a grub taco, a fried grub taco. This one is a vegetarian one. It's cauliflower, but I picked this one because it looks like the most anemic taco you've seen in the world. I think that's cauliflower, some apple, and some. I don't know whether that's pea wet that they've got on there. That we're holding it from last week.
It's some kind of orange-coloured spoo.
Yes, which is
that's a no. That's a no from me.
It's a no from you. Now this is a
ramen.
Oh, here we go.
That's intriguing.
So instead of the corn tortilla, you've got
noodles,
kind of ramen noodles as the tortilla.
Quite carb heavy.
I think there's some chicken involved in that.
Yeah, there's chicken in there. Looks like there's beef on the right. The one on the right. Yeah, there's two different ones there. Chicken and bacon on the left, I think.
Are we saying yes?
Good. Yeah.
Oh, that's a definite yes.
Oh, okay. Because to me that looks horrible, but you know.
No, that looks great. I'm going to try it.
Let's have a look. LJ says, not a taco. That's a nightmare. Dave Cass says, 2 day, my friends. Looking forward to the game this evening. Holly Sefton just says, worms.
Worms, man, worms.
Kevin Andrews says, if anyone is ever in Bournemouth, there's an incredible authentic taco and mezcal bar called Ojo Rojo.
Oh.
Ojo Rojo. Yes, so check that out if you're in the south of England. And this one final taco, I think, that is...
Oh, bacon.
Tom, yes. I think we've just tapped into some sort of strange animalistic state for Tom there.
No, I thought the last one was good, but no,
it's got mac and cheese.
That looks great.
So basically, you've got a tortilla. The tortilla isn't there, but you've got the tortilla bacon, just pure bacon.
No, that's great. That hits all the major food groups. That's superb.
I think there's some green in there, so that's okay. It's healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they call
your bacon food group, your mac and cheese food group. It's all there. It's great.
I think they call that the cholesterol taco.
Yes,
that's what Scott Hansen plays before he goes on Red Zone.
I want that wrapped in the ramen noodles.
Okay, and then a tortilla around that as well,
and then a pizza on top. Yeah. Like a 5-bird roast, but with...
Aaron Wright says, now that's dirty. Holly says, wow, that looks great. Bacon makes all things good.
It's absolute filth.
Now, it is the season for kind of... We're in October now, so Halloween's approaching, and then suddenly it's Christmas at some point. Maybe this year. I don't know what's going to happen with Christmas this year. But everything seems to be pumpkin spiced. And... you can get like lattes from Starbucks. You can get, ice creams, chocolate bars, whatever. And indeed, pumpkin with spice in, which is very nice. But Kraft in America have done a mac and cheese pumpkin spice version.
Oh, no.
Would you eat a cinnamon flavoured mac and cheese? Is the question.
I don't think I'd go anywhere near Kraft mac and cheese anyway. It's not the most appetizing proposition to begin with, and just adding cinnamon to it makes it even worse.
Yeah, I'm with Jamie on that one.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of pumpkin spice and I'm a big fan of mac and cheese, but together I'm not sure I could do that really. Tom, you probably could. Could you? You'd have a crack at that.
Cinnamon. If it was another something else, I'd be all over it. But yeah, cinnamon. Not.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it?
I don't think Holly likes that.
No, Holly's not happy with that. Holly, instead of commenting, get yourself on here next week.
Yeah, get on.
Yeah, click the link.
Now, this is what we normally have in the UK, and I'm sure you do in America, is Subway, and in fact, we got it from you guys. There was a bit of furore this week, wasn't there? Because I think the Subway bread was deemed to have too much sugar in it for it to be called bread. In fact, it should be called a cake. What are your thoughts on that confusion?
Is it a tax thing? A bit like Jaffa cakes not being a biscuit, whereas if it's cake, you don't pay tax on it. Is that the reason?
I mean, that Jaffa cakes thing, that went to court. They had this long court case to determine whether it was a cake or a biscuit, because it determined what tax. You do not want to know how many Jaffa cakes that court got through during that show, during that case. It was just incredible. But it may be a tax thing. It's just ridiculous.
I do love a Subway and a hangover, though. That is really good hangover food. And I think now I know why, because of the sugar content. It's got to be. It's kind of...
Which bread do you go for?
I'd go for the... What's it called? I can't remember. I'm not like a frequent Subway guy, but...
I'm a hearty Italian man.
Yeah, I go for the hearty Italian every time.
I'm herb and cheese. Yeah, herb and cheese.
Herb and cheese, very good.
No, I've had many a drunken argument with people in Subway when they don't tessellate the cheese triangles and they just overlap the edges. It's really annoying. You need a nice, fine, consistent layer of cheese, and so many boys just do triangle, 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 triangle. It just really bugs me.
But they're sandwich artists, Tom.
They're not. They're doing it wrong. I'm telling them how to do their jobs.
Oh dear. I've been corrected by Brian Williams. Taco Bell is not Mexican. We have some great legitimate Mexican food. Yeah, absolutely. I stand corrected. I'm guessing it's an Americanism of a Mexican street food, and
it's all we've got.
It's all we got. It's all we got. Right. Before we go, we want to hear your predictions now. We're coming up to the final 5 minutes of the show. Thank you so much for joining us. Send us your game predictions, your score predictions, what's going to happen today. While you're doing that, check out Adam's betting tips video.
Good afternoon, Bengals fans. Looking forward to this one today. We're playing the Jaguars at home, currently 2.5-point favourites with a total of 49 points. This is the easiest pass rush we've had to face this year, and obviously that's been a bone of contention for fans so far. The offensive line has been pretty much terrible, so it should, in theory, mean more time for Burrow to find his passes, and we're playing against the worst pass defence in the league, according to DVOA, which is a very good thing for us, because we do love to pass the ball at the moment. Can't get the run game going. Joe Mixon should be playing. He's reported with a chest injury yesterday, but seems like he's going to play. If not, obviously a whole lot of Gio. For this one, I'm really not sure what to make of it. I think we should win, but obviously this is a position we're only going to be in once this year. We are favourites in a game. This is the only game we are favourites for this year, which is pretty damning on the team as a whole, frankly. So this one, again, we should win this, but I'm not going to take the spread. It's a bit of a worry. Historically, we've lost the last two against the Jags, one of them being that Ramsey versus AJ Green game from a couple of years ago where they had a bit of a scuffle on the field. We won 4 in a row before that, though, so all the way back to 2008, so it's probably not relevant, but who cares? One in this one I like. You can get 5-2 on T. Higgins. Obviously, he scored a couple last week, and they seem to be using him in the red zone, going away from AJ, which seems like a decent idea for now. Tyler Boyd, his line is 57.5 yards. He's gone over that the last 2 games. and caught 7 passes and 10 passes over those 2 games. So yeah, I think, as I say, I think we should win. We shall see. Who dey?
Who dey?
Yeah, thanks to Adam for more little tips. There's still time to put your bets on. We would urge you to gamble responsibly. He made some good points, though, didn't he, as we turn our attention to the game. Last couple of minutes here on the week 4 online tailgate. Their pass rush isn't any great shakes, which could obviously help, although they do have some players with potential. But their pass defense as a whole isn't fantastic. And as Adam said, we do like to pass the ball a lot because that's all we can kind of do at the moment. Tom, what's your prediction for today? What are you looking out for?
I think it will be fairly high scoring. It depends if we can build a lead early and stop the Jags from running. I think that's going to be key for the game. I think offensively we should score more points than we have so far. I'm thinking maybe 32 and then maybe 24 for the Jags. I think although we're missing defensive pieces, I think we can get it done. And if we can build an early lead, we can sit on it.
Pete?
Yeah, I'm with Tom. I'm hoping the Bengals win. I'm thinking something in the region of 31-17. So fingers crossed that we'll be 1-2-1 and looking positive moving forward. And
what about you, Jamie?
We've got some defensive pieces missing. I think the Jags can pass and run on us, but I think Joe Burrow will keep us in the game. I'm going on for another tie, 31-31.
Mozza says, Stoke let me down for the win. Bengals got to win for my sanity. Duncan Yeadon says Bengals win 28-17. Anna Pearson says 28-24. Bengals, obviously. And Darren Wright says, I've got bets on Burrow throwing for 350 plus yards and to score a touchdown rushing. That's impressive stuff. I've got a feeling this could be another kind of roller coastery, high scoring, nerve shredding game. You look at how undrafted free agent rookie James Robinson has been rushing for the Jags. He could have a big day. Equally, we could actually get the running game going today. Let's hope so. But again, it all comes down to Burrow, and if we can keep him upright, then as Jamie said, there's a real chance of him keeping us in the game. And even with our defensive injuries, I still think there's a great chance to win today.
Paul, each week a different part of the team has got going, either a different room or like the linebackers last week were good, T. Higgins, etc. Who is it this week? Is it going to be the tight ends? Is it going to be the O-line or eventually step up? Who's going to step up this week? That's the key.
You'd hope it to be, you'd hope it to be the offensive line. That would be nice to have.
Yeah.
Have a game where the offensive line found its feet and somehow just kept Joe Burrow upright. Because that's
stayed on its feet.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, thank you so much. We'll leave you with Ben Wintle, who is preparing for the game, I think, somewhere in the southeast. So, look, there he is. He's got a quartet of Harbour beers ready to go there with his Joe Mixon jersey on. Thank you, Ben. Guys, thanks again for your company. And to everyone out there, you can get us on Twitter at @whoday_UK. Bengals UK on Facebook, Bengals UK on YouTube, and we'll be back with our podcast tomorrow night, I believe. So until then, Who Day, and enjoy the game.
Who Day.
Who Day, guys.